tinfoil hat.
Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Erin, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Erin.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know who I am. You know what I'm here to do. I am here to
Rock!
thank you, Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones and twos, Johnny Woodard, a.k.a. J Nice.
Hey, buddy.
Guys, how was your weekend?
It was great.
Yeah, I had a great weekend. I was in Bakersfield, or as I call it, the Devil's Butthole. All right?
It was hot.
It was 109.
Oh.
It was 109.
Wow.
And dude, it was crazy because there's like it was all track malls, and right next to the club, like a half a block down, was a church that looked like it just took over a track mall, and they decided in 109 to have a bouncy house for kids to play on the pavement.
Oh.
Yeah. Where's
That's
your
a no-no.
Jesus now? Okay. Right? But overall, I want to thank all the Swarm who came out. What wonderful shows we had in Bakersfield. We're going to go back there, do a tinfoil hat, comedy night, and a Swarm tank. And we're very excited about that. A lot of great stuff coming out. If you want to see me live, I will be at the Rabbit Hole on June 30th. Myself and a bunch of friends. Should be a wonderful show. So come out. I'm trying to get the ticket link. Again, if you want to see me live, you can get all my ticket links at SamTripoli.com. At the end of July, we're in Dallas. Just added a Swarm tank to Dallas.
Oh, shit.
We will, as soon as Xavier gets me the graphics, it will be up. So we have stand-up comedy at 8 o'clock and Swarm tank at 10 o'clock. And then the following day, we're in Oklahoma City, I believe. So go to SamTripoli.com if you want to see myself, Xavier Guerrero, Eddie Bravo, all live doing stand-up comedy. Again, that's SamTripoli.com. Big news! Big news, guys. New shirt alert about to drop tonight. Big shirt alert. Shape-shifting Jesus will be live. Just know it's got Jesus, Buddha, aliens, Bigfoot, and Godzilla on it.
I've seen it. It's wonderful.
It's a good one. My buddy made it.
I can see why it took a while to get made.
Yeah.
It looked like I couldn't imagine that in my head.
We had to do a bunch of different designs to make it work.
It's cool.
And it's 2D.
It's rad, though, yeah.
But I thought it'd be great to have a shirt with a real nice Godzilla on it. So there you go. That'll be available
Lawsuit
tonight.
incoming.
Is that going to be limited edition or that one's sticking
No,
around?
I don't think Shape-Shifting Jesus should be limited edition. I think that should be for the people.
I agree.
What do you guys think?
Maybe make one with Godzilla limited edition and just take Godzilla off for the rest of them.
No, man.
Maybe make Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla on one, like the first 100, and then regular Godzilla. For the
No,
rest.
dude, Godzilla, if you read in the Bible, shape-shifting Jesus shape-shifted into Godzilla at some point. It's in the Bible.
Okay.
We're trying to keep this biblically accurate, okay?
Yeah.
Jesus is for the people.
Jesus is for the people. And then I have a Breakfast the Chicken Snake guy coming next. I'm working on that next one. And Conspiracy Smoke Show. We got a plethora of shirts coming to you. It's a great way to support the show. If you also want to support the show, we do some very exclusive content on rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com. It is the Netflix of premium content. $10, you get all of the shows on there. You get Tinfoil Hat Premium, Zero, the greatest of all time sports talk, Conspiracy Social Club, Broken Sim, and then my good friend Xavier Guerrero has a show called We Don't Smoke the Same. I need to start clumping some weed people together.
Dude,
you
you're
need to
gonna
start giving me names.
You're
of
gonna
weed.
sign this for us.
Oh, I'm going
Alive.
to?
You're
What is this,
going
that
to.
gun?
Yes.
Gunpoint?
Yes.
Okay, I will. So go to rockfin.com, sign up. If 2 shows of us a week aren't enough for you, you get a ton of content on there. And if you're like me, I'm going to be honest with you, I really can't take corporate media anymore and any entertainment. It's really bad. You know, the minute I start seeing a chick beating up everybody, I'm like, okay, turn that show off because that's not even close to real. Or, you know, a trans in the lead of a comedy. By the way, did you guys see I think the lead chick on the new Saved by the Bell is trans. And in the picture, she's doing this. Did you see that?
Oh, wow.
What, timeout? Like Chris Webber?
Is that timeout or is that like I'm a T? And by the way,
not buying it.
also when you go to Universal Studios over here or whatever that is over here, they have these rides about movies, and one is the Secret Life of Pets, and you can do the ride, and they have a dog riding on what? A red rocket.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I mean that's a dog dick, right? Am I wrong?
Like, come rocket. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like, come on, man. I mean like, dude, can you be more obvious?
They do look like red crayons.
I don't know what you're staring at, bud. Anyways,
Yeah, you're right about that. She's
right?
trans, yeah.
Right?
Trans.
And she's doing a T right there.
I didn't see the T, but yeah, well, that's the thing, though. Remember from Saved by the Bell, Zach Morris would always do timeout, and then he would freeze time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's probably...
That's so crazy, dude. Anyways, if you can't take it, all the Operation Mockingbird and all that programming and propaganda, go check out Rockfin, man. They're where all the outlaws of YouTube have gone.
Yes. You can get the next episode of Broken Sam already. It's already on
Oh,
there.
it's already on there.
Yeah, it's already on.
Yeah, they're
God.
talking shit on me on there, so definitely go watch it.
We're not talking shit. We're
Someone
just,
said it to me. They're like, "Did you watch this shit?"
no, it's not. Dude,
know,
you
I
have
know.
an Instagram
I
face.
know. I was just
I
laughing.
have an Instagram face.
Yeah, we got his too. He's got Sam has Tarzan Boy. That's his Instagram face.
Is that, That's so funny, dude. That's so ridiculous. So go listen. I have a lot of shows. People always go, "Hey, how many shows you have?" I have enough shows. But here's the beauty of my website. You can get all the videos to all my free content. They're on there, and I believe within a week or two, I'm gonna have a 24-hour radio station where you can listen to all of my content, all my free shows. You can listen to it on a radio station.
That's somebody's version of hell is just your voice on a loop for 24 hours a
And
day.
it's some people's version of heaven.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
so
it, man.
You know, some chicks are gonna be there, fingering their beans.
hey, dude, this is a Christian
Easy.
show. This
Easy.
is a Christian show. Nobody's fingering beans on this show.
Especially not
Come from the guy that
Not
knows
his
what a
voice.
red rocket is. He's talking about fingering beans now. I want to apologize to you. This is a Christian show.
Yeah.
Johnny, you just got promoted. Your guest spot right now.
Shape shifting Jesus would not be happy with
Not happy about that at all. But go to SamTripoli.com, get all my videos there, and then just go to Rockfin for all my premium content. Anything else, guys?
Well, do we want to address that we might have 3 ads in this? Do you care about that?
I mean, like, guys.
Just give us a break.
Here's the thing, dude. You know, if you guys knew how many people work on this show, 3 on the show. One is a booker. One is somebody who deals with ads. There's 5 people that work on this show. Then I have people who do little stuff here and there. You know, the only way we make this show work is if everyone can focus on it. And that comes from being able to make this as a primary source of income. So we have a couple ads on here. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys understand. We're doing the best we can to minimize how long the ads are. But it's like, this is our passion. This is our brand.
skip on.
If we could, we would do this full time all the time. And that, you know, people got to pay their bills. So, I mean, we would do a 3rd episode, but people don't tune in as much. So, I mean, that's just the truth. I love doing the show, and we'll see, man. We'll see. So, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. We're talking about decentralizing everything from your social media to your local politics. So, we're decentralized locally, acting globally. Okay? So, enjoy the show.
Drink from the fountain of
All right, I'm super excited to have these next guests on. They're kind enough to take me out to all these fun different festivals, these crypto festivals, these off-the-grid festivals. They're on their way as we speak, the Pork Fest. I think that's what it's called. They have a wonderful website called Flote, and we're going to get into it today because there's a lot of stuff I want to discuss. So I'm very excited. Please welcome my good friends, Erin and Kingsley Edwards. How are you guys?
So good. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Kingsley,
I thought
where's
this
your mom?
podcast was last month.
Where's my mom?
Yeah, where's your mom?
She's not coming. She's watching our dog Satoshi. Our Doge dog. He's in Vegas. Yeah.
Kingsley's mom is like the queen of crypto, so I've been trying to get her on Cash Daddies, but she's shy.
So you met her?
Yeah, I've met her. I met her. They did a. So basically, they run Flote. They came to a show that we did. They came to our Vegas show on Fremont Street.
Yeah.
And they were in the back, and it's been love ever since. And we've been hanging out. And they brought me to their inaugural Float Fest, and then they brought me out to Shitcoin, and it was great. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. Let's get into real quick Float and what you guys are trying to do with Float. Why don't we start with what is Float and why did you start it?
Yeah, Float's a crypto social network without the big tech censorship. We started it because I've been in crypto, kind of an entrepreneur in the space since 2013. But Erin, she started developing, making some friends in the content creation space. A lot of people that I've been following, kind of in the liberty movement.
I'm very nice.
Yeah, so
I make a lot of friends.
I'm like the introvert. She's the extrovert. And so we just started noticing that a lot of our friends, they started getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers over the years and making, decent money, finally able to just kind of focus on their YouTube channel or whatever channel it is. And they started getting, deplatformed, demonetized. You know how it is. Just what's now kind of, common and even the mainstream was pretty, still is controversial. Now all of a sudden, free speech is controversial. Yeah. So we took a look at other platforms out there, and we just decided, hey, this is not only we believe the right thing to do to stand up for free speech online, but also, business opportunity too, because of all the missteps that Zuckerberg and Dorsey and all the other big tech CEOs are making day to day. Used to piss us off. Now we're like, okay, keep fucking with your user base because they're coming over to Float, and we're happy to have them.
Yeah. Plus, at the end of the day, you want to be able to tell your kids what you did to stand up against censorship. And I think we can be pretty proud of that when our kid comes knocking on our door and asking us what we did to stand up for liberty.
Our kids knocking on our door, we kick them out.
Yeah, 18 out.
Living on the streets of Vegas.
Right.
So I totally agree with you. I think it's kind of crazy, all the stuff that's coming out. Like I was just telling Johnny and XG before you guys jumped on, that now it's coming out that Google was funding research in the Wuhan lab. And the question is, why is Google, a tech company, jumping in to funding virus research? And it just becomes more and more blatant that these tech companies, these mainstream ones, these giants, are just an arm of the government. And it's like,
yeah.
Go on.
I mean, it's obvious, right? Like every time the election comes around, Instagram and Facebook won't shut the fuck up about go to vote. Like anything with the vaccine now, like they're showcasing celebrities getting the vax. And
I think what happened is that the authoritarians that basically, run the government, they realize, well, the government has restrictions, but if we can take over the tech companies and all these other different corporations and use them basically as a private arm of the government, well, we're able to get away with a lot more.
And we lost them. But following up on, hopefully they'll come back, or we can figure out with Johnny. All right, that's cool. Well, I want to continue what he's saying. It's like, basically for me, it is more than obvious that they found loopholes, like Kingsley was saying, to find a way to fund. I consider a biolab in China a black ops operation. Am I wrong here? I mean, what is more black ops than a virus that shut down our entire country?
You think it would have changed? You think it would have been differently if it would have leaked from the United States?
Well,
if we would have had one of those labs here and it would have leaked here and they would have owned up to it, you think we would have looked at it differently?
Well, the issue is I don't think you can do that in the United States. I might be wrong, but I believe like there's laws against doing that stuff in the United States, which I'm probably wrong about, but based on just my feel, that wouldn't happen in the United States. That's why they have to go to China, because they can't do that stuff in the United States. So if it did come out, that would be an even bigger violation. But it's like we were talking about with
Bravo.
With Bravo, like all this stuff validates a virus, which validates a vaccine. But it's like they were talking today. I heard this guy, the Quarterling. He's got a really good YouTube channel, and he was talking about how the CDC has been funding a lot of like Fox News. And that's got to extend to Fox Sports as well, right? I mean, every commercial, either on Sirius Radio or on Fox Sports, is a vaccine commercial. I mean, Johnny, we're seeing like, and you and I were talking about this before, hopefully they'll get back on.
Yeah.
But we're seeing like, I think, the pulling back of the curtain to a form of fascism. And I know that people get when they get here with their back. When they get down to what is actual fascism, it's supposedly a guy who is one person,
an authoritarian. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think even behind that one person who runs everything, like Stalin went to these certain kind of not basically Ivy League schools. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Well, yeah, and even with Stalin, there was a government of sorts. I mean, there was still the Duma, that he had to pretend to get the approval of,
Yeah, so it's just very interesting. Well, as you guys are gone trying to find Wi-Fi that works, we were discussing.
No, see, we were censored by Zoom. This is an example of censorship.
Well, it is. It is kind of interesting. Like, let's get into why did Zoom just show up out of nowhere?
What happened to Skype? Remember Skype was the thing?
Yeah, and then suddenly Zoom was everywhere, and you're like, but.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, why did we all just not say, hey, we're done with Skype? And someone goes, hey, you want to jump on Skype? I'm like, what are you, from the 80s?
Skype, I will say from a technical standpoint, their recording solution sucked. The quality was much worse than Zoom. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons.
But isn't it easier just to update the software?
Zoom benefited.
Yeah.
Zoom benefited from the virtual schooling, right? Like every virtual schooling literally used Zoom.
All right, everybody, I want to tell you about our good friends at Radix Remedies. Go to radixremedies.com for your CBD needs. Okay, here's the thing, man. You having problem focusing? Okay, real simple, man. They have something called NeuroRoot Focus Plus. Okay, it is a cannabis-enhanced neotropic boost that focus, clarity, and memory retention to levels never seen before. It's just amazing. Johnny, you're talking about how you're having problems sleeping all the time. That's all he cries about constantly. Guess what?
I'm constantly crying. You're right.
Constantly crying. Well, guess
now.
what? No more, Johnny, because they have a remedy for that. It is the Radix Sleepy Bears. Melatonin and cannabis-infused gummy bears that get you to sleep and keep you to sleep unlike anything ever seen before, okay? That's how great it is. Take a deep dive with their D8, okay? Root the remedy. Rex fuels your epiphany. Need sleep? Rax got you. Need energy? Rax got you. 20% off your first order with the promo code TINFOIL. All orders are entered into the free CBD for a year giveaway. Johnny, you could use it for a year.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you think your fake girlfriend will love this?
Yeah, she loves CBD for sure.
Oh, Johnny's fake girlfriend loves free CBD for a year, and he's going to sign her fake name up for a chance to win this wonderful prize. So
Sounds like the election.
Yeah, go to radixremedies.com. Use the promo code TINFOIL.
That's RADIX remedies.com. Radix Remedies.
Yeah, Zoom did pop out of nowhere. I've never actually been a fan of Zoom, and Zoom has actually been caught censoring companies. They do have a headquarters in China as well. So even with our company, we actually use a different competitor called Jitsi that's open source.
What's it called?
It's called Jitsi.
Jitsi?
Jitse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, interesting. But let's get back to Flote. What Flote represents. You know, when I was at the your inaugural event, you guys are talking about how you've created a way to transfer all of your Facebook data to your app, and I think that's huge because I think most people don't get rid of their Facebook app because there are, you know, wonderful memories from 10 years ago. 15 years ago, however long Facebook has been around.
It would be like burning a photo album
Yeah.
to delete it. Yeah.
Right. So you're like, I got to keep it. And then if you just keep tempting them, they're going to delete your entire thing. That's what happened to Tommy G. They got rid of his entire his YouTube, his Facebook page. And he was like, I have dogs that are no longer with me that have pictures on there that are gone now.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit. So that's a big part of what Flote is doing also is we're focused on interoperability. And what I mean by that is by creating bridges from big tech to new technology like Flote, and then also from our platform to other new tech platforms like Library and many others. So, but yeah, that's one unique feature of Flote right now is that we have the ability to, as a user to download your Facebook, post pictures and videos from all those years and upload it to Flote. And I recommend that people just do that just in case, like our CTO, for instance, Patrick Smith, he got censored on Facebook for, what was it? Sharing something,
something stupid.
Yeah. And he lost all those connections to all his, childhood friends, all his, all his videos and pictures, like you just mentioned. And so it's,
And now that we hired him, his first comment was, I'm here to take down the big tech overlords who deleted my Facebook.
You took my Facebook. Prepare to die.
Yeah.
Right? That's the equivalent of that one right there. I think it's very important, man. And I talk about this a lot. Like, there's a lot of complaining in the conspiracy community, the truth community, whatever you want to call it, about Facebook censorship. And I'm like, and YouTube censorship. And I'm like, well, guess what, man? If you don't like that censorship, get off the platform. And there are so many wonderful websites like Flote, BitChute, Odyssey, obviously Rockfin as well, that are viable places. I think the hardest thing for a lot of these websites will be that, unfortunately, and I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts on this because you guys do have a great product. And I think a lot of people are really hitting the ground running. Is like you have to compete not with Facebook when it first started, but Facebook today, and the shininess and the glossiness, and that's really hard to do. What have you guys done to combat that? Because let's just face it, some people are just brand whores and they just like shiny objects.
The thing is, I wouldn't consider Facebook being the shiny object anymore. I think Facebook and YouTube are really kind of and Twitter, they're all kind of shooting themselves in the foot. They're bleeding users. Every time they censor their users, I did a poll on Twitter the other day, and I asked how many people have been censored on big tech, and the poll was 80%, and we had over a couple hundred votes. 80% of people have been censored on big tech. So at the end of the day, what we're trying to do with Flote is we're just trying to make it extremely user friendly, and we're building the site that our users want to use.
Yeah, and
I think it's really important to listen to your user base and build what they want accordingly. I think that's kind of what separates us from our competition a little bit, because we're very open to user feedback and we deliver on what our users want.
And ultimately, our goal, isn't necessarily to become the next Facebook, and we don't have to become the next Facebook to be successful. Our goal is actually to get to 100 million users within 5 years, which represents less than 4% of Facebook's total user base. So I think right now the fact that they're pissing off their user base and they're making so many missteps along the way, and the things that we're integrating that are part of this new decentralized revolution and the technology that comes along with it, I believe will put us as a major player in the foreseeable future.
Yep.
What is the biggest, like when you go to, let's say, your normie friends, right? I mean, we all have friends who are normies that aren't necessarily in the truth community or looking to live off the grid or, take over a town in Texas or anything like that, right? But when you talk to these people and you go, hey, man, we got this really great website that we're building. What is the resistance to moving fully over there? Because, even when I go, hey, man, Tinfoil Hat is no longer on YouTube. We're just not going to play that game with them anymore. We have brands that we do that fit into what YouTube likes, that we don't get strikes on. They don't want this here. I have 130,000 subscribers. I would like to keep them. I'm going to move over here. And like the bitching and the moaning from these people who love Tinfoil Hat and they know the censorship going on. I go, I'm not asking you to get on a plane and fly somewhere. I'm asking you to go to your address bar and put in a different address. That's all I'm asking you to do. And there seems to be some resistance to that. What is your thoughts on that?
Before they say that, the only resistance I never saw was when people went from MySpace to Facebook.
And
that
I'll
was
get
instant.
into that.
That was instant. There
I'll
was
get
no
into that
pushing
because
on that.
I think that's what's happening with Pornhub and OnlyFans right now. I think it's really interesting, the very global imploding of Pornhub. And then now I just saw somebody put out that OnlyFans is raising $1 billion. And you're like, that is so...
For what?
Who's paying that much?
For what, though? I mean, what are they expanding into? It doesn't make any sense.
That's so. I mean, like, just what is the difference between Pornhub?
Bigger sex toys, yeah.
No, but think about this, man. There's a way more personal interaction on OnlyFans compared to Pornhub, right? Pornhub, you don't need an account to watch a porno. Now you need an account, you need your credit card numbers, you need everything on that. How do I know that? How do you think I know that? Okay. Right.
Can't leave a comment without being a subscriber.
The only thing OnlyFans doesn't have that Pornhub does is that you can pay with crypto. And Flote does that.
So if you want to get naked, go to Flote for crypto. Is that what we're saying right now?
Yeah. if you want to earn that the cum rocket coin,
But it is very interesting. The like $1 billion. Hey, we're gonna try to raise $1 billion. Who's gonna give you $1 billion? I mean, like, I'm sure there's some creepy Saudi prince who's like, I'll give you $1 billion, right? But then again, it's like, are we gonna hear who gives you the $1 billion? Because we could talk about this. The thing that Flote is battling is like, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook all got intelligence seed money. And we all know it. It's so obvious what's going on right now. And now it's coming out that Jeff Bezos' father or grandfather ran DARPA. And now Amazon's everywhere. You're like, oh, they call it corporatocracy, but it really is fascism. So how do we get people to leave? Go on. Sorry, Kingsley, go on.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's just providing a really good product that they can't deny. And I believe, Facebook is really has the network effect, but they are ruining that network effect because they're censoring people. They're censoring even alternative health groups. They're censoring gamers. They're censoring all sorts of people. So I think as this continues on, I don't see it getting any better. I see it getting it worse. Then ultimately those people are going to be finding other platforms to bringing their communities or starting new communities on. Also, the trend as far as people downloading and using more social apps apps. It has been on the rise, ever since social media became a thing. So I think right now it was at like, I'm trying to remember the numbers. It was, let's just say, like around like 5 social apps that people have on average on their phone. And that trend is continuously going upwards. So again, I think where we're headed is a place where there are more communities and different types of communities that are forming online, and those will continue to grow on these different social apps like Flote and others. So and we're more targeted towards kind of people that care about free speech, the freedom community, and also the crypto community. And I think that's by providing a place where people can communicate with each other using just free speech, and applying the encryption technology where we see fit, or for the user's benefit, because obviously any kind of direct messages or anything like that is being read on Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Twitter, all that. So don't send your dick pics through there. And then also, a big part of what we're doing too is a huge use case for cryptocurrency, not only connecting people on the social side, but connecting people on the commerce side too, and making it so that, when you get paid out by YouTube, or use even Patreon or these others, they sit in there as a middleman, as an intermediary, and take their cut. With Flote, we're providing a real world use case for cryptocurrency, providing a peer-to-peer connection with your fan base, your customers, whoever it may be, so that we don't take a cut when it comes to payments on Flote. And I think that's what's really going to make us stand out from the rest, is providing kind of this efficient market system on our platform versus the
Tim
others.
Dillon, stop putting your shit on fucking Patreon and put it on Flote, where you actually get to keep all that revenue. You're just tossing so much money into freaking Patreon's pocket. How much does he make? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like he probably pays out Patreon like, I don't know, $10,000 a month.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly believe it's even more than that, to be honest with you. I think he's clearing 100 G. I mean, I don't want to put out his business, but I do believe that he's making a lot of money. But, and Tim Dillon, love him what he's doing. I get concerned that a lot of the mainstream people, especially in my line of work, which is comedy, are all brand whores. Like the punk rock is gone from the fluoride people. The fluoride people just love to follow the rules and be on the brand and do all that stuff. And it's just, it's really hard. Like, I work with you guys. I work with Rockfin. You try to talk to people about moving, and it's just like, they're just like, I don't know. And I just think in the long run, they don't think that they're going to be on the side of censorship, because today they're on the quote unquote right side of the discussion, but they will age at some point, and these kids always want to get crazier than the generation before them. So now it just becomes.
But as soon as it happens to them, something's going to click, and they're going to be like, oh shit, SamTripoli was right. And they're going to start, I think once you have skin in the game, then it's totally different. And that's with anything, right? So like the second that they do get censored, they're going to be like, oh, wow. And it could just be, Facebook bans them for 30 days, or it could be that they just delete their whole freaking profile.
We see this every day, basically. New people that are joining Flote and getting censored for the most ridiculous reasons. For posts that are like 10 years old, or a video that's 5 years old that covers nothing controversial at all. Yeah. So. I think probably the types of people that you around your community, and more of like the California scene, obviously probably leans a little bit more left. But I do believe that anyone from like a libertarian to a Trump conservative is seeing what's going on now, and this represents 40 to 50% of the world. And so slowly but surely, I mean, obviously. All the new tech platforms out there have a lot of work to do and a lot of catch up, but I think slowly but surely, we will have our day. And we're starting to see that now, even just with what happened with Trump and like with Parler. There's a big fight ahead of us, but I think it's just, it's very important to keep free speech online, because the manipulation of all the algorithms that they're using, it's just we're seeing what's going on now, and how now they can censor things that are completely true. That
yeah, look what happened with the Wuhan link, right? Like, it turns out that whole thing was true, and so many content creators and independent journalists got thrown off and demonetized on YouTube for claiming the very same thing. And, and
it is
YouTube
nuts.
is reinstating their channels, you know?
It is nuts how, down the line, everything comes out true. Even if you take a look at Jeffrey Epstein, quote unquote, suiciding himself versus after Epstein suiciding himself. All the people got censored for saying there's a pedophile ring in Washington, and everybody was like, you're a crazy person. Then it came out, and it lasted 18 hours. We couldn't even get a full day of a fucking parade that we were right. It was 18 hours to, he just killed himself. Nobody killed. It's like unbelievable. Like, Brian Callen is one of my best friends. He says he's going to work my nuts when we're on Conspiracy Social Club, because he says I was right about Fauci. And I just want to be like, wouldn't it be easier just to believe me at first and then say I was wrong later instead of flipping it?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't we be in a better place?
I really want to do an experiment where you talk out against like the Gulf of Tonkin. And even though it's been proven true, I want to see if we'll get censored on Facebook.
I mean, most people don't even know about it. If you brought up Gulf of Tonkin, they're like, is Tiger Woods in that this year? They don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, right? So it's crazy. So, we had an episode the other day with Zach Voorhees. The first thing that comes to my head is Jason Voorhees. I want to say it every time. Yeah. I'm like, Crystal Lake. So he was we had an episode on Klaus Schwab and his discussion of a cyber attack, and it's like, I don't know how people aren't losing their minds, because he's basically saying it's coming, and it's like, how do you know that? Oh yeah, because you're behind it. Hey guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Caldera Lab. Okay, Caldera Lab is a men's skincare line that is a company with a conscience. Okay. They are a B-certified corporation and the only men's skincare line certified by Made Safe, PETA, and Leaping Bunny. Come on, Leaping Bunny's in. We're all in.
Come on. Yeah.
Come on, dude. Whether you're tackling dry skin, acne scars, wrinkles, or just want to do you and invest in healthier skin, this is the one product I would use, okay? It's a non-toxic natural serum, okay, made with 100% from plants for all guys and all their skin types. Right, Johnny?
Dude, you're damn right.
I just did the test.
You did?
Yeah, it asked you for your age, what type of skin tone you have, where you live, and they gave me what I need.
I heard that customers rave that it doesn't cause breakouts and it doesn't go on greasy.
I hate when it goes on greasy.
Me too.
Okay, they went above and beyond industry benchmarks in their clinical trials. Okay, the results showed that it is proven to work on all skin types. 96% of men saw healthier skin. Okay, works great with a beard, bald, or dry scalp. Okay, keeps it all nice, shiny, and moisturized. The founders live in Jackson, Wyoming, dude. Hey, if you live in Wyoming, you better be serious. Okay. You live in Wyoming, that's the real thing. And they created a product because of the dry skin from the high altitude climate. And there was nothing on the market they would use, okay? Nothing clean, nothing toxic, non-toxic ingredients, and that proven to work, okay? Best of all, you can try it 100% risk-free. If you don't love it after 60 days, they will refund you in full. Here's a special offer for our listeners, The Swarm. Receive 20% off your first purchase of the good. Go to calderalab.com and use the discount code TINFOILHAT at checkout.
That's one word, tinfoil hat at checkout.
Are you guys concerned about a cyber attack coming up and knocking out not only your hard work, but crypto, all that stuff? And is there anything we can do to counter that?
Yeah, so we're actually in the middle of moving all of our database over to a more resilient system that's apparently fireproof and like EMF proof. So that's a good thing on our side. But yeah, there's gonna be multiple attacks. I mean, basically false flags, probably cyber attacks, all this type of stuff. You can kind of see it going down the line. They're also, I believe, they're gonna try to attack crypto. We're seeing that in China today. But this is especially cryptocurrency. This is a complete, the biggest threat ever that's ever been for the world central banking system, and that's the only way that they're actually even able to run all these schemes that they do, because they have the ability to print money at will.
Yeah.
So
look at El Salvador, right? Like they're terrified that a country just made Bitcoin legal freaking tender.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you saw the World Bank and IMF. They basically spoke out about El Salvador trying to make Bitcoin legal tender. So it's just a matter of it's just a matter of doing the right thing, trying to look ahead and taking the right precautions. But ultimately, like in the chaos, I believe there is a lot of opportunity. And to both on the software side, what we're doing at Flote, I think on the hardware side, on the decentralization slide, as far as like mesh networks. So really, what we're learning now, and a lot of tech entrepreneurs are kind of finding this out the hard way, is that we've let big tech grow too big too fast, and now we have a lot of catch up to do. But with that catch up, there's more people waking up, and like I said, there's more opportunity for small businesses or small teams to pick up projects and to really, I mean, in my opinion, save the world from what's coming down the pipeline.
And honestly, so we are switching servers at the moment. When we got on a call with the owner of the server company, I mean, he is hyper paranoid about all of the stuff that you mentioned. And he brought up each thing to us, and he's like, we are building to prepare for that. So he's super prepared. We feel very confident. And yeah, so it's, you have to align yourself with good moral companies who align philosophically with you, because like we're not on AWS. Look what they did to Parler. I mean, it just goes to show you that you have to align yourself with good and moral companies who will have your back when shit hits the fan.
I totally agree with you. Let me ask you, like, is it possible to get to a place where they can't shut down the internet? Where is it so decentralized that they don't have the power to take it out? Can we get there? How long will that take?
Yeah, I would say in the next, probably, I would say in the next 10 years, it's definitely a real possibility. But there's so many projects that are working on it right now. And, IPFS is an example of that, Filecoin. Our strategy, moving forward is basically where we want to get to. But the technology is here. It's been kind of in like alpha, beta stage for a long time. But thanks to actually, really the technology of like Bitcoin and other, cryptocurrency technology, it's really pushing the needle forward for this more kind of decentralized world.
So there's, obviously Flote, Rockfin, Odyssey. Is there any benefit to working together in any capacity? Or, I mean, obviously we're in a capitalist society. It's kill or be killed. But I wonder if the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and like working together with these other companies, not so much. So you're the exact same thing, but an understanding of like kind of what Coke and Pepsi does, where it's like if another competitor comes in, they work together to snuff them out. I don't like that, but is there a way for the 3 or 4 of these BitChutes kind of in there as well? Obviously, that is an alternative tech company. Is there a way to have everybody work together? I love that. I got this.
I got this. Yeah, no, I think the first Union of the Unwanted that you and I were on, Sam, I think, we were on with Jeremy from Odyssey, we were on with Rockfin. And the thing with Flote is like, we want to be interoperable with Library and Odyssey. We want to be interoperable with Rockfin. We want to add integrations into Steemit and Hive. Like, we want to basically make a way where we can accept Steem and Hive and Library Coin, on Flote. Like, the more we work together, I think this is the capitalist strategy, of that big tech did. Like, they don't work together. They, they're all competitors. At the end of the day, I think the only way
now they're colluding, but yeah.
Well, yeah, now they're colluding. But I think the way to take big tech down is if we all collaborate And again, we're not striving to be the next Facebook. We don't need all that market share.
Then there's enough market share to spread around and still be very, very successful.
Yeah. Like we all are very different, and we, have different user experiences. But yeah, I mean, that's our goal. Like, we're headed up to PorcFest to go talk to Jeremy Kaufman of Library and Odyssey to see how we can work together and become a library app, So yeah, that's the goal.
What is Library? Now, is Odyssey and Library two different things, or are they just one thing?
So library is basically like the protocol, or the foundational like technology behind the platform behind Odyssey. Odyssey is more of you can think of it as more like the front facing type of face look for library, so that they can be a little bit more commercially viable. So with library, it's basically uncensorable, and in Odyssey they can censor things or curate things in a way, but it's still supposed to be more obviously better than YouTube. Yeah.
So we obviously, it's been like a really weird time for crypto. We've seen like giant gains, and then we've seen some serious stagnation. And I run an investment show, and it's kind of hard to talk to people about investing because nobody knows what is going to happen. And we were just talking again before the show about how like China's like, we're done mining. And then they're like, well, the number went down. I go, well, why is it going down if there's going to be less coins coming out? Does that make each Bitcoin more valuable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, we missed half. Someone tried calling me to kind of cut you out there. But yeah. Sorry.
Let me repeat it.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. So basically, we're in this crazy time in crypto right now. It seems pretty stagnant. Everything's going down. A lot of people are like, oh, it's going up. And you saw like people moving into crypto. And it's very interesting because my brother is like a great like barometer of what the feel of crypto is out there. Because one second he's like, Bitcoin's stupid, dude. I don't get it. I don't care. And then like a couple weeks later, he's like, dude, this is kind of interesting, bro. And then it's like, things are going great, bro. I'm so happy for you. And now he just hit me up going, dude, what is going on with Bitcoin right now? And you have this whole thing with China. It's just so interesting because it makes you wonder what is really going on, because China has now become like what the North Korea is militarily, which is this boogeyman, right? China is kind of that in crypto, and like, oh, they're done mining now. And then everything crashes, which doesn't make any sense to us, because that would mean that the available Bitcoin becomes more valuable because there would be less of it, but yet it goes down. What are your thoughts on what's going on in crypto right now?
Right. Well, so first of all, I do want to say that people get a little bit like crypto is just so fast moving. And actually my background before getting into crypto and tech was actually in wealth management. So I'm used to more, even just normal investment strategies. And, we look at like the S&P history, and it's only, on average returned anywhere from like 8 to 10% on average throughout the history of the stock market. So when we talk about, as you mentioned, serious stagflation in crypto, it's like, it's been like, maybe a month or two, and we have to remember just 2 years ago, we hit a low of 2,800 in crypto. So even at today's prices, we're still 1,000% up, 10x from just 2 years ago, which is very good returns. And I've gotten in this space in 2013. I bought my first Bitcoins for $20, and so I've been through a couple of these cycles. So it's and every cycle is a little bit different. This one this one I believe we're still in a bear market. We'll see what's going on.
In a bull market.
Or sorry, in a bull market. But we'll see what's going on. China always kind of I would say the current China threats are more serious than before. It almost seemed like before they were just kind of trying to get headlines, and like the politicians were just kind of buying up Bitcoin on the cheap. This time I am talking with our friends in China, and I've actually known miners that have had like fled China in fear of their lives for themselves and their family, and moved to the U.S. or Canada. But I think it's just It's a normal type of cycle thing that's going to happen. We're going to see more crackdowns with more countries. You see India right now talking about it, but then on the flip side of that, you see El Salvador. And I think any location that embraces cryptocurrency will be the future of finance, in the next 10, 20, 30 years, because it's inevitable. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. The technology is here, and it will replace the current financial system because at the end of the day, it just provides a much more efficient mechanism to conduct commerce.
Right.
And that's exactly what the world needs with central banking, all the stupid regulations that governments try to pursue or dictate, and crypto and DeFi, projects offer an opt out of this financial, what do you want to call it? Tyranny, really. And so I think ultimately, no matter what they try to do, crypto will win because it's it kind of has like the idea of the internet and peer-to-peer technology, and really it bakes in kind of the idea of human spirit and individualism. And so we'll find a way.
Keep calm and hodl.
Yeah, exactly. Every time, instead of complaining when it goes low, I mean, you should just be,
exactly.
how can I earn more fiat to buy more crypto?
Yeah.
Well, me and Sam been talking. Do you think Elon Musk says what he says for the price to go down and then go in and buy some? Like, I've been hearing a lot that they do this and they go in and buy some so that you sell, and if you're supposed to hold. Is that legit? You guys think that Elon Musk is in that game?
I think that Elon Musk is today's Jamie Dimon, right? So like a couple of years ago, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan talked a bunch of shit about crypto. So the price tanked, he bought up some, and now he's preaching praising Bitcoin. I think that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Elon Musk is interesting too, because it's hard to tell, where he stands. And I think you guys have talked about the whole Werner von Braun, how he was in his book in 1953, the head character. You guys know about that?
Yeah.
Project Mars?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's something weird with Elon. I don't know, man. But
I also think he likes dangling that carrot.
Yeah.
I think he likes having the power of pumping and dumping.
For me, whether it's him, Mark Cuban, all these guys I just get really, really worried when we start looking to billionaires as superheroes. And, like Mark Cuban now is crying his ass off because he lost and I think he only lost like 75 grand, but he lost like 75 grand. I know it's only, and like people are like, only, but when you're quote unquote a billionaire,
you own a basketball team,
75 grand isn't that much. And now he's calling for regulation, which to me is just like, how can we fuck the little guy and allow the big guys just to do whatever they want? So what is happening right now in the shitcoin universe? This is what millionaires and billionaires have been doing forever. They just do their own rules. And now you want listen, if you go in and you overextend yourself in an investment on Cumrocket and then you lose your money, it's like you have no one to blame but yourself. You're in Cumrocket.
Absolutely.
Well, the people that are hurting the most right now are the people that loaned against their crypto right before this collapse, and got cash out and then used that to buy more crypto. Those people are. I've been reading about a few of these people on Reddit, and they are just down, exponentially. They're crushed by the.
They
by the
should
way.
be. They
That's
should
a
be.
bad idea. That was not.
Well, that's a bad idea to buy more crypto because that's, what they did? They saw Elon Musk do that. He took all this money out to buy like $500 million worth of Bitcoin, but he had the money to pay it right off. Everyone's like, because that idea, I can get this much money from Celsius. Oh, I'll take that, buy more, and then slowly pay it off. Well, what happens if everything crashes and burns? Then you're stuck holding this bag.
That's what happened with the 2008 collapse.
I hate like little bitches. I really do. It's like if you get into something and you lose out on or it crashes and then you lose out. Like again, like you said, you have no one to blame for yourself. But it's just these people with like the victim mentality. I mean, Kingsley and I didn't bitch and cry when we got into BitConnect and lost a couple thousand. It's like you get into shit and it's volatile. you got to take your risks.
Yeah, and it's then that's the thing too. I think is part of the Elon Musk or a lot of these big talking heads is that maybe they are actually trying to get people in and out at the wrong time so that government does come in and try to regulate it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's unregulatable, and that's the beauty of cryptocurrency. So ultimately, it is. They will try to say, this is banned or that is banned, or we're going to go after this company. But at the end of the day, it's be your own bank. And with that comes risks. So you should know what you're doing. But I think there's just so much opportunity in this space that it's definitely worth the risk.
Right. And to those people who get into crypto and they don't know what they're doing, let me give you advice. Find a local Bitcoin meetup. Go and socialize and learn and ask questions. Go on Google, figure it out.
There's got to be some meetups.
We've been running the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup since 2014.
That's actually how we met, from a Bitcoin meetup.
Oh, snaps. Bitcoin love. Is that going to be named one of your kids? Bitcoin? Or are you going to name one of them
Bitcoin.
Our dog's named Satoshi.
So you guys were nice enough to bring me out to Shitcoin 2021. I had a wonderful time. Miami is the future, by the way. It is what this country, everyone is going to be attractive and look like they do pornography. That is going to be the future of this country. But Shitcoin was great. Everybody was over at, there's a lot of people at Bitcoin, but there's a lot of people at Shitcoin too. And what was the feedback you guys got from Shitcoin and basically what some people thought of Bitcoin 2021?
We had such a great time. Yeah, the shitcoin crowd is more of our crowd. There's a lot of Bitcoin, what they call Bitcoin maximalists at the Bitcoin conference, which it's hard to get in, have these conversations over and over and debates with these Bitcoin maximalists. Ultimately, we just feel that anybody should be able to try whatever type of cryptocurrency or get into whatever cryptocurrency that they want, and it's an individual choice, free market.
Yeah, I feel like shitcoin was like that like dirty, grungy kind of feel to it, like an underground feel to it. While like all like the commercialized bankers who are in suits are like roaming the halls at Bitcoin 2021. It's like more of our crowd.
Yeah, but we had, we were a sponsor of Shitcoin. We had a booth there, and we had great feedback for what we're doing and how we're doing. And we talked to a lot of people about our Flote token that we'll be releasing in the next couple months here that we're really excited about. That's actually modeled after Bitcoin, but will actually be a lot more useful than Bitcoin because it'll be fast and free for transactions versus what we're seeing in Ethereum and Bitcoin today and a lot of the other slower, more expensive types of cryptos out there.
Yeah, we're excited.
Well, Bitcoin is very interesting because, a lot of people talk about how slow it is, its practical use. But my question is Bitcoin just going to be the gold of the digital currency? Like where it's just you hold it and its practical thing is that you could sell it. And that's where its value is. And then these other tokens will become what is used for transactions. Like I can't go to, 7-Eleven with a fucking gold coin and be like, 1 Marlboro Light, please. You can't really do that. So do you see that as the future? Because that's kind of my feel on what Bitcoin's going to become.
I don't believe so, because ultimately I believe that these cryptocurrencies are meant to be used as currency or a money. So the reason why gold isn't money is because it is slow and expensive. So if Bitcoin's as slow and expensive as a technology, then I think ultimately it will get favored out for another technology or another cryptocurrency to take over its place. I've been using Bitcoin to pay people, developers and merchants and everything, for now 8 years. And
we've lived off of Bitcoin.
Yeah, we've lived off of Bitcoin for years as well. And it just, especially since last May, the last halving event where the Bitcoin inflation rate went in half, the network's just been way too congested. So ultimately, I believe that something will replace Bitcoin as the number one cryptocurrency. We don't know what that is yet. It has the network effect, it has the brand name right now, but I believe Bitcoin is the MySpace of the crypto world.
Damn. Tom is going to be out again.
But I at the same time, I still love Bitcoin. I just see, I see the development of Bitcoin being a lot slower than potentially, maybe it should be. And I see a lot of other coins that I believe are making more of the right moves. Now, if you ask a Bitcoin maximalist that was at Bitcoin 2021 conference, they would scream at me for saying all these things. But ultimately,
You're anti-freedom.
Ultimately, it's a market mechanism. The faster and more efficient and less expensive technology will win in the end. I don't see why we would use Bitcoin if we had another choice out there.
So one of the interesting thing was at Shitcoin 2021 was that Ross's mom. What was Ross's name? The guy who got thrown in jail for Silk Road.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ross Ulbricht.
Yep.
Ross Ulbricht.
Ulbricht.
His mother was there. I took some pictures with her.
We've had her on the show.
We've had her on the show. Why is his case so important to you guys? Because you guys have been really championing him, supporting his mother. Why is this so important to you?
Yeah, well, because my father actually has been incarcerated for over 28 years for a nonviolent drug offense, less than $800 worth of cocaine from 1993 in Florida.
And he has 3 more years to go on his sentence.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. It is incredibly tragic. How long's he been in jail?
Over 28 years now.
28 years for drugs. A thing that you do to yourself. The crime comes from the fact that you black market it and that people have to do shady shit to get it. And it's like, you just know that whoever got your dad the coke is probably working for the CIA and they're profiting off of this drug trade.
Yeah, well, he was actually set up by the cops.
Yeah, he was set up by his ex-girlfriend at the time who wanted to marry him, and she got busted. So, and then she ultimately, once he got convicted, she actually committed suicide because she felt so bad about it. But yeah, I mean, so I recommend. I'm not sure if you guys got to watch it yet, but every listener and you guys too, I would recommend listening to Ross Ulbricht's
Bitcoin 2021 speech.
Yeah, his 2021 speech.
He called Bitcoin Magazine from prison and gave about a 30-minute talk. It's the first time he's spoken out since the 8 years that Ross has been in prison, and the prison threw him in the hole for it. So it was very powerful, made us cry like babies. And I think it's one of those speeches, I think, that puts a lot of things into perspective. And yeah, I just think everyone should watch it. It actually led to a decision that we made, and that's to start a foundation to basically free nonviolent offenders incarcerated in the United States.
Yeah.
And so that means starting with Ross Ulbricht. We're going to be raising funds and potentially holding protests, and rallies in his honor to help raise awareness and hopefully get some legislators moving on this, because right now Ross is sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years for creating and sustaining the Silk Road.
And ultimately, we want to bring a lot of awareness to just a lot of nonviolent offenders that are incarcerated right now, because in the freest country in the world, apparently we have the highest prison population, and a quarter to 500,000 of the prison population are nonviolent offenders that probably should not be in there. It's a waste of taxpayer money. It's inhumane. And if you listen to Ross's speech, he goes into it more deep, where he's just like, he says it many times, I want you to understand what it's like losing your freedoms. And Ross, at the end of the day, he made a website, and people sold drugs on there that you could argue took a lot of violence off the streets in the way that he did it. And it's just, it's not the right thing. It's not what they're doing to my father. And it affects in Ross and so many others, and affects family, friends. It has a whole network effect that it really screws over a lot of people, specifically everywhere in the world, but definitely really bad here in the U.S. And there's even even just with like the drug war itself, a lot of things are becoming more legal, more legal every day, and yet people are in prison for maybe for just them not making the right decision, just based on
making decisions that we all do, like that we've all smoked weed, we've all been in possession of weed, or many of us, and some are sitting in prison cells for 20 plus years because of it. It's
Nevada.
ridiculous.
It's even in Nevada, which is like corporate vices. It's like Nevada outside of Clark County, prostitution's legal, which I agree with. I think prostitution is the most capitalist of everything. Whether morally or not, you like it or not, that's not really the point. The point is like who's the victim. There's no violence. Nothing's being stolen. Those are the only things that should be involved in prison. Did you steal something or did you hurt somebody? Outside of that, let it, like, who cares, man? There's married men who are visiting prostitution. Well, you know what? That's a personal issue. That shouldn't be a legal issue. You should not be throwing, especially, single guys who aren't married, who can't get laid. They got to pay for it. That's a transaction, man. I mean, it's a legal transaction. You have something to say?
Yeah. Guess how much the U.S. seized from Silk Road?
How much?
1 billion Bitcoin. Guess who kept it all? They're not giving it away.
Well,
they're
it's
not
still in a wallet. You can see it.
It's
in a cold wallet. You can see it on the.
Is it in like a zoo? Is it like
you can go on the block, like a blockchain explorer website and see the wallet there that's got a lot of the Silk Road coins still just sitting there.
Sitting there. And eventually it's going to be theirs.
The U.S. Marshals also did a couple, I think they did 2 or 3 auctions where they started auctioning some of it off.
Yeah.
I think one of our investors in my previous company actually bought a chunk of it.
Right. The craziest thing about the Silk Road story is that the biggest drug dealers on the Silk Road
got nothing.
Only served 10 years.
We had her on, and it's been a while since she's been on, but what was their argument for giving him such a huge...
He tried to kill someone, but that someone was a cop. It was all an inside job. Like, they were just trying to catch him.
Oh, that was it,
Yeah,
right?
They were trying to catch him on a thing, and they sent him a picture of someone dead, and the person wasn't dead. And they were just trying to make him seem like a bad guy, trying to, like, save his life, because people's life were in danger.
Did he try to kill somebody? Was that it?
No. It's fake. Yeah, it's fake.
Completely, like, that allegation, like, he's never been convicted of that. It was just
he wasn't even charged. I think it was all just alleged.
Yeah, it was just a rumor that the prosecution basically said in the courtroom, and like, again, never proven. It was just a rumor that was said by the prosecution on the record, and that was enough to give him 2 life sentences plus 40 years. I mean, in Ross's Bitcoin 2021 speech, he literally said that there was talk about potentially giving him a lethal injection for creating a fucking website.
Yeah, and he actually had a nightmare about it. And he talks about this too, how they tried to paint him as a monster, and they tried to paint everybody as a monster. Even just like interacting with the prison system or the state government in Florida regarding my father. Every time I just call to ask like a simple question about things that we can do, and we've tried many strategies to get him out. We're still working on a couple. But it's just they not only treat them inhumanely, but they treat the family and friends and community that care about these people that are incarcerated for no reason, like they're criminals too. Or
I can't even tell you. I cannot even describe to you what it's like walking into the prison where Kingsley's dad is. It is the cold.
And we lost him again. I'm with you. My friend went to jail. And I went to see him. And have you done that before?
Go see someone in prison now.
It's the worst. It's the worst, man. They herd you like cattle into these things, and
you feel like you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Did you do over the phone?
No. Well, I talked to him over the phone, but to get to see him, it was just impossible. and it's just like they treat you horribly. And there's these and to be honest with you, I have family who work in corrections, man, and he's more on the psychological side of it to help inmates. But these, it's just like you incentivize people to be cold.
Imagine seeing your dad.
They don't
like
want
that.
to lose their jobs.
Imagine seeing your dad like that.
Yeah,
behind bars.
I mean.
That's
my
horrible.
my dad was crazy, but he never went to jail, thank God. I just think of all the crazy shit my dad did. I'm surprised he didn't do it. But back again, that's okay. And we lost him again. Are they there?
No,
Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, honestly, I can't even talk about it with I'm just enraged.
Yeah, I mean, a sign of a banana republic is when your court systems don't follow any laws. And that's where we're at right now. You have prosecutors prosecuting criminals that aren't violent, that haven't stolen anything. And you have judges and law enforcement in not enforcing the law. And that's where we're at right now. And then you have things going to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court not enforcing the Constitution. And that's where we're at right now. It is unchecked power. It is
absolutely. And that was one thing. That was one thing that Ross mentioned during his speech. Was that hey, with the crypto community, like how proud he was of everybody, and he actually apologized if he brought any negative attention to the crypto industry. But he also said hey, whether they want it or not, we are changing the global economy, and that's absolutely true. And so he basically challenged us to basically change the criminal justice system, because no one agrees with, just like you said, there's so many things wrong with it right now. And I have just a couple of ideas of simple tweaks that we can utilize, and this is what we're going to be lobbying and promoting with the Flote Foundation, and developing a boots on the ground strategy where we hold peaceful protests at prisons, at the capitals, both on the state and in DC and federal, so that basically they can see that, hey, we're here, we're watching. We all know that there's issues with this current system that we can fix, and let's really let's not paint the politicians in necessarily a negative light. Let's give them the opportunity to make the right choice and do the right thing. And really try to empower them with the local media and also content creators, including yourself. I think you'd be interested in getting involved to show hey, Mr. Politician, Mrs. Politician, we're reuniting families of nonviolent people, and this is
it's a cause that a lot of the population can get behind.
Yeah, and it could be something that can help you get reelected or get elected if this is part of your platform,
because that's all they care about.
Well, I think that you guys hit on the head with the election stuff. And I think it has to be a silent war in terms of just getting in and starting to take over. And it can't be just one person either. It has to be a coordinated effort, like what we're seeing parents do with these school boards. They're going in there, they're taking over the school board, and they're getting rid of critical race theory because people are tired of the malarkey that we're teaching our kids. And you have a lot of opportunists who are just taking advantage of this, pushing a narrative that does not exist for cash and prizes. And that's kind of how you have to do it. Now, we don't have to talk the city, but we had talked about taking over a town in a particular state. I probably mentioned it earlier, but in case I didn't, I don't want to mention it now. But taking over a town and basically making it a free city, getting involved in law enforcement, getting involved in all aspects of the political process. And I think that's how it happens. If I had $1 billion, I would start a network of podcasts that are strictly meant for local news and interacting, because there's not enough of that in these podcasts, nobody's paying attention to everything on a local level because that, in my humble opinion, is where the real power is.
Absolutely. And I actually saw this firsthand in 2012 because I was part of the takeover of the Republican Party in Clark County, which holds Vegas, the largest county in Nevada. And I was able to see with my own eyes that, hey, it only takes about 200 to 300 people to take over the largest county in Nevada that's in Vegas, or that's, represents Vegas. And basically by taking over that small local part of the Republican Party, we were able to push Ron Paul to be on the national ticket for the 2012 election. So this is something that I have experience doing. I know people that have experience doing. It's definitely possible with a small amount of numbers, especially in rural communities. And the place that we're looking at, it would take, probably 75 to 100 people based on our estimates. And I think I agree with you, Sam. That is the future of or what we really need to do is good men kind of standing up and doing the right thing. And this is, I think, a great strategy to get that going.
Free State Project West.
Yeah. Actually, we're here for PorcFest, which has the Free State Project, which I believe kind of, I love what Free State Project is doing, but I think it's kind of too big of a project for a full state. And this is something even like I wish Ron Paul ran for governor of Texas versus running for the president, because I believe he could have probably won as the Texas governor and could have instituted a lot more change that way. But focusing kind of on the county and the city. In the county specifically, because if you can get the sheriff on your side and you can get the police departments of the major cities in that county, then you have a lot of power as far as what you can do, and continuing with the trend of American ideals like freedom.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about community. Especially right now, I think people need community. Shit is going down, and I don't think that there's ever been a time more important to get together with like-minded people to really come together and teach your children and, grow sustainable. And
we can't let Bill Gates buy all the farmland.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's time for us to stand up and do something. And so we can do that as a community.
I completely agree. The Fed is fucked as it is, but now we're starting to see that not only are they destroying the dollar, but they are purposely bailing out companies and giving them such giant wads of money that they are turning around and buying everything up. Bill Gates keeps getting, and guess what, everybody? Trump gave his foundation a lot of money, and then right after that, what did he start doing? Buying up all the farmland. Okay? The government gave Jeff Bezos money for his space program, and what did he do? Turn around and bought MGM. Right? Okay? So now we got BlackRock, which takes over the Fed. They give everybody $1 trillion bailouts. They give you $1,000. They gave these companies $1 trillion buyouts. And what are these companies doing? Buying up all the property. I mean, this is where we're at, man. And like for me, man, it's like how this show's all about reaching across the aisle and talking to people that maybe we don't always agree with on everything. A lot of times we do. The ones who will come on the show, see the value of the show when they can get past the name. Some people can't get past the name, and that's fine. You're missing out on an opportunity to reach a passionate fan base and a very lovable people who care. So, so I'm always like, who can I reach out? Who can I reach out to that I think my listeners would love to know their side of the discussion? Jennifer Brini, right? Like she is pretty liberal, right? But we found very much common ground on a lot of stuff. And to me, that's really important. When we had Major Torre, was that his name, right? Right? When we had him on, we found a lot of common ground.
There's been like one person we didn't find common ground with.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've been pretty good with everybody.
Right? So it's like, that's my next thing. How do we reach out? How do we reach out to the disenfranchised black community? How do we reach out to the disenfranchised gay community? feminist community? How do we reach out and realize that, there is strength in numbers and that they're being treated as useful idiots in these situations used by very powerful people who are just getting them to do their dirty work?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's why I believe that actually the libertarian message, which I would include you in that, or voluntarist or anarchist, whatever,
Whatever
I know you probably don't want to put labels on yourself.
I registered
more
with the Libertarian Party. I just don't. I think I'm going to try to get Dave Smith on to talk about all the work he's doing with the Libertarian Party. I'm very concerned about joining any group.
Oh, no, I'm not even talking about the party itself. I'm just talking about, a small L libertarian, just the ideology. I believe that, when people ask me my politics, I think I'm a centrist. I agree with both sides. And I believe small L libertarians, including also big L libertarians, agree with both sides of the aisle. When it comes to being fiscally conservative, you can bring that message to the right. When it comes to being socially liberal, you can bring that message to the left. And so I think it's, the libertarian message, or really what I believe is kind of even the founding father message. It does speak to both sides, and there is that bridge to make. And you can even see that with, again, bringing up Ron Paul, a lot of his message, when people actually studied what he said, or actually, looked into what he said versus just reading it, the headlines in the media as an old kook, as they labeled him, they agreed with kind of both sides of the aisles agreed with ending the wars, being then the right, being fiscally conservative. So I think that's where we have a lot of work to do as far as the messaging, but it is there, and the opportunity is basically on us.
I completely and utterly agree. Johnny got me into libertarianism. What are your thoughts on the party right now, Johnny?
Well, it's funny. I was there in 2012 also. I remember that whole process. It was the point you make though about trying to do that at a national level and how challenging that is, because we did try to do that at a national level, and the party just kicked our ass. I mean, they cheated. They just flat out lied. The Republican Party lied and cheated at the convention. Yep. We had the numbers to change the rules, and it was just deceit. And
well, that's my whole thing with everything
dishonesty
in
on their part.
The conspiracy community. This notion that the Republicans are the good guys or they care more is just straight up laughable. Everything you hate about the Democrats, the Republicans did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's the same thing. They are just spit roasting the country. So stop getting in to parties, man.
Yeah, and see, I thought there was a time I thought that was the answer, taking over the Republican Party, because the way it's written, it can be done, but in practicality, it just can't.
Banana Republic.
You can't do it.
Banana Republic. When you don't follow your own rules, that's when you have problems, okay? So the whole thing is and you could say whatever you want about Trump, and, I have some real problems with the guy, Operation Warp Speed, hiring Fauci, we can get at taxes, we can get into a lot of stuff that dude did wrong. But if one thing he seems to have done is to highlight the fucking problem with the two-party system. And UFC, and you could shit on Q all you want. I say it all the time, and I'll challenge anybody to it. These people in Q pulled out their money, pulled out their time, pulled out their attention, and that's what you have to do to the political party. Now, both the Republicans and the Democrats aren't getting funding like they used to. Republicans a little bit more because there's still groups that fall into that. But I think the Democratic Party's dead. And I think it's just a matter of time until the Republicans die too. When people take a look at it, stop worshiping parties. Start working on individuals.
Our COO, he on his own time, he makes these fun little cups with stickers, and he actually got thrown off of Etsy because of a cup and a sticker that says 2 parties, 1 cup. they deleted his account.
Why is that? It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. But you know what? We've been
democracy, Sam.
Yeah, I think people are waking up to the bullshit of that too. I mean, people are waking up to Operation Mockingbird in full effect. I mean, James Corbin, have you been seeing how that dude, that late night fat British dude, is getting his dick kicked in for this propaganda that he's been singing? And just like Stephen Colbert had his hero on, what's his name, for the Daily Show, Jon Stewart. And Jon Stewart's like, dude, this is all bullshit. And you saw Stephen Colbert like fucking melting. It's like they're, dude, we are watching the death of an institution, which is late night television.
Oh God.
Saturday Night Live, I have 2 friends on it. I love them both. I hope it stays on forever. Dying. You're on the wrong side of the issue.
They're soft as pig shit. I mean, it's really just no edge on any of those guys.
It's not soft as pig shit.
No, but they are.
Blatant lying.
The personalities, though, the guys are just, there's no edge to their humor. I mean, they went to go from Letterman to him. I mean, it's just, it was.
They're sellouts,
man. My favorite is like when Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live, like, during their intros, it's like just a bunch of the cast members like in their masks, like walking around town square or whatever it's called. You know, around New York City, and it's just like, oh my God, like the mainstream media, I think, is just pushing, you know, that narrative of just like propaganda. They're just shoving it down people's throats, and I think the pandemic has woken up so many people to kind of like just the bullshit, right? And so. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's all dying. You know? Now are you seeing all of the whistleblowers on freaking like mainstream news channels going to Project Veritas? Did you see that what's her name? Ivory Heckle girl?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I would say that all of even Hollywood is just becoming relevant now, and I think that was inevitable anyway because of the internet. Now, last year, I think all of us were locked up, so it kind of pushed that in, and we couldn't even go to the movies. But I think that's what's, again, just kind of circling back to like Flote and just social networking and censorship. I think that's what's so powerful about social media is that we had the mainstream media control the boob tube and TV, television set for so long, and then here comes the social media where we're actually a much more better way to communicate with each other and look into more things and do research and share knowledge. And then now they're realizing like, oh no, like this is getting out of control. So they're trying to bring that control back in. But thanks to technology like Bitcoin and all this decentralized technology, now we're able to escape that paradigm too and create our own reality. And so that's what I just think is so exciting. So amongst like everything seems like it's burning right now. But I try to stay an optimist and believe that we can pull through this if we implement the right strategies. But it does take us. Like we can't rely on the government. We can't rely on Trump. We can't rely on Q.
Yeah.
We can't rely on anybody. If you have an idea or if you know someone that has an idea that you can back, whether it's even signing up for alternative platforms or donating to this project or that. It's a time to it's time to
have the uncomfortable conversations, and it's time to have an inner dialogue and really just connect the dots. It's staying cognitively dissonant is no longer an option. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side.
Yeah,
they are drawing the line in the sand, and so now it's time to stand firm in what you believe in, because people will back you.
Pulling out your attention, your time, your money from a system is much different than being apathetic to everything and being like, what can I do? That to me is disgusting. Pulling out all your energy. Like I turned off the radio station today because I just can't stand what they're spewing anymore. And it's going the same thing with Sirius Radio. I'm sure they're taking anybody ads dollar, and the CDC's like, here's a ton of it. And I'm just getting bombarded with stupid.
Dude, you were flipping out. The other day I was in the car with you and you were trying to hear the Dodger game, and it was just vaccine, and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, like they what is going on is like they're so desperate that they're destroying their own institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking, maybe we should reach out to the CDC to put ads on Flote, and then we can just have like a fake news thing, like border around it.
That's so funny, dude. All these, this is a bullshit ad. Here you go. Full of shit. And I just, for me, man, it's like, we have to keep score, though. That's the biggest thing. So many of these lying scumbag opportunists are going to move on like it didn't happen, and we have to remember this. And, you know, to get to those levels like these Stephen Colbert and Ellen, you have to be a throat-slashing, soul-sucking scumbag. And, like, we need to hold them accountable. You know, we need to hold all of them accountable. Ellen should not be allowed to ever show her face on anything ever again. For how she treated people, how she allowed her staff to take the fall for her. How, you know, it's like you watch these videos like these conspiracy theorists who like show the art in her room and it's like decapitation shit, right? And you're like, yeah, she like some weird like adrenochrome art in the back. And you're like,
they all do, right? It seems like it.
And you're like, how do you explain that away? How do you explain that away when you have that weird fucking shirt on with the blood face and the weird writing on your arm? How do you just explain that away?
You're a grown woman. Why do you? And it's like a brand. It's called Off-White, and I get it. But you're like a 6-year-old woman. Like, why are you wearing?
What do you mean Off-White? What is Off-White?
That sweater was Off-White, right?
Virgil Abloh is a fashion designer. I don't know if that shirt was, but he's a famous fashion designer.
Well, it's like a fucking some weird ass Hillary chopping off girls' faces shit.
Some frazzle drip shit.
Some frazzle drip shit. And like maybe that's part of the psyop that they get us all talking about it. But either way, she had an email. She told the CIA she'd do anything they told her to, and she needs to fucking go. And ultimately, like, hey, guess what, dude? Television, if it's not giving you what you want and it's trying to brainwash you, you should turn it off and read a fucking book. How about that one?
Yeah, it's
bring it to a shooting range and just take a couple shots at it.
Yeah, I mean, time to start shooting our televisions. Johnny, what'd you want to say?
Yeah, it's based on an art painting or something from years ago, I guess.
What, the weird fucking spiky head red thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably some art done by a satanic piece of shit.
Well, it's best yet.
What's her name? Maria Abramovich?
Yeah, and then Lady Gaga's ass and all these people coming out. And then I start seeing people that I love very high up now, and they're just full on into the psyop. And I'm watching people I knew just start to fucking change because you start getting up there and it just becomes echo chamber and it just becomes like, you know, and it's just you start seeing people lose their identity because they're worshiping an altar that is thank God dying, just straight up dying, and it's really sad. And it is what it is.
That's when you take them, you yank them into the woods, and then you just sit there in silence and try to just
force feed a mushroom.
I mean, maybe if that's what it takes.
Dude, we were in Bakersfield.
Sorry, what was that?
We were in Bakersfield doing a show, and this extremely gay couple came in. Extremely gay.
Both of them?
Super flamey black guy, chunky trans, okay? They come in, dude, and within 5 minutes, the black guy's screaming at the bar about racism, and they storm out. And I kind of follow them out. I'm like, what just happened? Like, they're like, this place is racist. I know racism. This is racism. I'm like, calm down, dude. Calm down. This is like a very free thinker show. And he's like, no, I know racism when I see it. Well, out of nowhere, dude, and this has happened at a lot of my shows lately, like, Mushroom Santa Clauses just show up and they start handing out gifts of mushrooms, right? So this guy's got a fat sack of shrooms, and I'm really, really consumed with getting black people to do mushrooms because I just don't think they do shrooms at all. And I'm like, have you ever done shrooms? He's like, no, I've never done shrooms. I'm like, time for you to do shrooms. Eat some shrooms, trip, and talk to God and realize it's not that bad. I am not doing shrooms. they sauteed all off, like shot off. And I was like, that's where we are. That's my next move. You guys decentralize the internet. I will work on getting black people.
We should start counting how many people leave our shows. It's been the last one. For no reason, Eddie Bravo singing, and these guys, they mistrued what Eddie Bravo was saying.
Dude, I walk people all the time, and I enjoy it. It's what little punk rock I have left in my life. Guys, great show today. Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to talk about?
Are you coming to the next Flote Fest?
Oh,
Yeah, of course I'm in. I'll gig with you guys anytime. You just gotta hit me up. I'll show up.
Right.
I'll write
Alright,
enough
cool.
so it's new. I always like, oh, dude, they
Bring
hear.
the whole tinfoil hat crew. We would love to just sit around a fire and shoot the shit with you. I saw Tino was wearing the Flote Fest hat in his latest Facebook picture.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like Tino loved it. Everybody loved it, and I love doing crypto. I love doing crypto and decentralized social media events anytime, all the time. Just hit me up and I'll come. Grab my backpack and hitchhike out there. So we'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'd love to discuss that more, and then getting you potentially. Oh yeah, I'd love to discuss local government and stuff too. I know you have more of an interest there, and also let's talk. Let's hook us up with talking to Rockfin or whoever else think that we should talk to, because again we want we're competitors, but we're also collaborators.
Yeah,
and I think all of us can really help each other, and we need it. We have to team up in order to take on the Goliath. All of us Davids need to team up.
I totally agree, and I hope people are open-minded. And it's like the more alternatives there are, the easier it is to take down the big ones. And moms and grandmas will always be on those simple things, and that's fine too. You'll never, and especially in like Latin America,
you can't
Europe,
get Mexicans off of Facebook.
Yeah,
dude.
they love Facebook, but they also have like very little they're very much controlled.
They know the government.
They're controlled by Marxism. They know it, but this is last vestige of free speech and freedom. So we gotta fight back, guys. Thank you very much. Where can they find you if they want to find you?
You can go to joinflote.com, and I'm King on Flote.
And I'm Erin on Flote. Super easy.
Or on social medias, I'm KRH Edwards, and
you can find me on big tech platforms as Erin Nakamoto.
Usually we're just promoting Flote, so just join Flote. It takes 2 seconds, and support good people doing good things. And thank you again for having us on and just supporting us and letting us drag you out to these random remote locations in the world.
I'm all about
we
it,
have
dude.
a whole other list of other ones that we want to bring you to.
I'm here. I'm there. Just hit me up. All right, guys. I love you guys very much. Be safe. Have fun over there. Say hi to all the freedom people, and we will do it again soon. Love you guys, and then we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
We go deep, homeboy. Erin, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Erin.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind. Tinfoil hat.